Welcome to another story made by Oracle 1. The Battle of Ink and Dust. In the waning light of a dusty Baghdador evening, the city stood on the cusp of destruction. The azure sky, streaked with the crimson blush of sunset, bore silent witness to the looming calamity. Within the labyrinthine alleys and silken-laden bazaars, whispers fluttered like restless ghosts. The Mongol horde was near, and with them came a fate more terrible than the fires that promised to consume the city. Among the inhabitants was a man named Timur, a Mongol scholar born of a lineage that traced its roots to the expansive steppes, yet whose heart had embraced the wisdom of the East. Raised in the nomadic traditions of his people, Timur's path diverged early from the sword-wielding warriors of his clan. Instead, he was captivated by the delicate dance of ink on parchment, the melodies of ancient verse, and the mysteries nestled in the scrolls of Baghdador's Great Library. The Great Library was a sanctuary unparalleled in the world, a towering citadel of knowledge, housing the sum of human achievement in philosophy, science, medicine, and the arts. For Timur, it was more than stone and parchment. It was a temple where the spirits of generations whispered truths across centuries. It sheltered wisdom that could illuminate the darkest ignorance, preserve cultural legacies, and guide the future of mankind. Yet, it was also the target of the Mongol conquerors, a prize and a threat. To the warrior Khan, it represented a fortress of rebellion, a bastion of culture and influence that could rally opposition against the Mongol dominion. Orders had come down from the Khan himself. The Great Library must be destroyed. A warning scrawled in the blood of history to all who dared resist. Timur stood at the crossroads of fate, torn between loyalty to his blood and devotion to knowledge. The Khan had summoned him, a scholar whose mind was revered even among the horde, demanding that he lead the pyre for the library's destruction. Refusal meant death for Timur and his family. Compliance meant betraying his sacred oath to preservers of wisdom throughout the ages. The night was thick with tension as Timur entered the cavernous hall of the Khan's tent. The air carried a scent of leather, sweat, and burnt incense. Khan Batu, fierce and unyielding in his expression, paced like a caged lion. His eyes burned with the fire of conquest, reflecting the flickering torches that lined the tent. "You know why you are here, Timur," Batu's voice rumbled like thunder. "This city is to be ours. The Great Library is a nest of defiance. It teaches the people to think, to question. That is an enemy to order. We will burn it to ash." Timur bowed deeply. "Great Khan, the knowledge gathered here is vast, more than even your scouts can imagine. It holds secrets of the heavens, the earth, and the human soul. It is a beacon of civilization." "Enough," Batu snapped. "Your words are fitting, but your task remains. You will oversee the burning. Your family will be spared if your obedience is true. Should you falter..." His meaning was clear without finished threats. Timur swallowed the lump rising in his throat. He nodded, voice barely a whisper. "I will obey." As Batu's men bound Timur's wrists with ornate silk cords, the scholar's mind raced. Could he defy the Khan? Escape? Save the books without relinquishing his family? The night was his only ally, and time was a fleeting shadow. Returning to the city under the cloak of darkness, Timur wandered the streets towards the Great Library. The structure was a marvel, walls engraved with celestial motifs, domes that pierced the night sky, and arches that sang with ancient craft. Within, illuminated manuscripts lay on wooden shelves carved by masters, their pages fragile with age, yet brimming with life's knowledge. Timur's heart ached as he touched the spines of scrolls containing the works of Aristotle, Ptolemy, Avicenna, and lost poets of Mesopotamia. He felt the pulse of humanity's collective memory beating in the quiet of those hallowed halls. He spent the early hours in frantic consultation with the library's keepers, elderly men and women who whispered prayers to the guardians of knowledge. They were resigned to the fate that awaited but trusted Timur for his wisdom and mercy. "You must understand," the head librarian, an aged man named Harun, said with trembling voice, "this knowledge is fragile. Once it turns to ash, no wind, no rain can recover it. The world will be darker for it." Timur nodded, a plan stirring in his mind. "I will burn the library as demanded. But I will save what I can, carry it in the breath of the night to safety." Harun cast him a wary gaze. "Are you prepared to risk everything? Your life and your family's?" "I have no choice," Timur murmured. The first light of dawn crept over the horizon as the Mongol forces assembled around the city gates. Timur stood at the threshold of the library, a torch in hand, flame flickering in the soft breeze. His family was hidden, according to Batu's orders, awaiting news of his task's completion. With a heavy heart, Timur set the lower shelves alight, watching the flames lick eagerly into the parchments. But as the fire grew, so did his resolve. Swiftly, he moved to secret compartments within the library, where rare scrolls and manuscripts were concealed beneath trapdoors and behind false walls. In a whirl of fevered urgency, Timur gathered as many precious documents as he could, wrapping them in oil silk cloth bundles. He slipped out through hidden passages, unseen by the Mongol soldiers. For 3 days and nights, Timur played a dangerous game of shadows. Under the very noses of the conquerors, he smuggled fragments of the library's soul to the homes of trusted friends and scholars scattered throughout the ruined city. The fire raged, consuming the majority of the library's treasures as planned, a pyre of knowledge intended to satisfy Batu's decree. Flames climbed hungrily, smoke billowed into a morning sky, and the city watched, silent, fearing the wrath of the Khan. After the blaze was extinguished by the invading army, Timur returned to his family, dread gnawing at his spirit. When Batu summoned him once again, the scholar feared the end was near. "This city is ours," Batu declared, face grim as he eyed Timur. "The Great Library is no more. Your task is complete." Timur lowered his gaze, heart-pounding. "It is done, my Khan." "Good," the Khan said, his expression softening slightly. "Your cunning serves us well. For that, your family shall live. Tell me, Timur, what did you do with the books?" The air thickened with danger. Timur's mind raced. "I ensured that the most dangerous tomes were destroyed," he answered carefully. "The rest were given to your scholars for study." Batu nodded, seemingly satisfied. But Timur knew he walked on a razor's edge. The smallest misstep could bring ruin. In the weeks that followed, Timur worked in secret. Collaborating with scholars, he orchestrated the preservation of the hidden manuscripts. They were carefully sewn into the bindings of innocuous books and disguised within merchants' cargoes leaving the city. His family remained safe, living in the shadows of captivity, protected by the Khan's mercy but still marked by suspicion. Years passed. Timur's story became one whispered among the few who knew the truth. The Great Library's flames had claimed much, but the embers of knowledge lived on in hidden corners of the world. In a small village on the outskirts of the Mongol Empire, a humble storyteller recited ancient tales from tomes thought lost. Among the audience were children, their eyes wide with wonder, their minds alight with the power of stories, science, and history. Timur's sacrifice had sown the seeds of rebirth. Though the battle of ink and dust had been brutal, the war for knowledge was far from over. The Mongol Khan's policy had sought to erase a civilization's soul, but through one scholar's courage and wit, that soul endured, whispering through generations, guiding those willing to listen. As Timur watched the new day break from a distance, he understood that ink could be as potent a weapon as any sword, and that dust, once settled, bore the promise of a future yet to be written. For more stories, like and subscribe.